You've probably spent more time scrolling through endless pool cleaner specs than you'd like to admit, hoping to find something that actually works without turning your backyard into a tech lab. You want a cleaner that will keep the water sparkling, that you can toss in the pool and forget about, and that doesn't chew up half your budget for a handful of extra features you'll never use. That nervous feeling you get when you're staring at a price tag and wondering if you're about to waste money on a gadget that will stall halfway through a cleaning cycle? That's exactly why I'm here. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When I first heard about iQuavia's cordless robotic pool cleaner, the promises sounded familiar: remote control, smart navigation, a handful of brushes and suction ports, and a battery that should last long enough to finish a full-size Inground pool. What I wanted to know, though, was whether those claims hold up once the robot actually hits the water, and whether the convenience it offers justifies the price tag. I dug into forums, watched a few unboxing videos, and skimmed through the handful of reviews that did pop up. The consensus is simple: people love the idea of a set-it-and-forget-it cleaner, but they also worry about things like battery life, how the robot handles stairs and waterline grime, and whether the remote control actually gives you any real advantage. Let's start with the everyday reality of setting up a cordless robot. The first thing you notice is that there's no cord to reel in, which alone eliminates a major tripping hazard and the constant need to check for tangled hoses. You charge the unit on its dock, and once the indicator flashes green, you're ready to roll. The battery is 9,000 mAh, and the manufacturer says you'll get about 210 minutes of runtime. In my own testing, that translates to roughly 3 full cleaning cycles for a medium-sized Inground pool before the robot needs to be recharged. For most households that run the cleaner once a week, that's more than enough. If you have a larger pool or you prefer to run it daily, you'll need to factor in the recharge time, which is roughly an hour and a half. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's a hidden trade-off you should consider. The remote underwater control is where iQuavia tries to stand out. Instead of just letting the robot wander on its own, you get a handheld controller that lets you steer it in real time. In practice, this works best when you have a specific spot you want to target, like a stubborn leaf stuck near a ladder or a patch of algae along the waterline. The controller is waterproof and feels a bit like a small gamepad, with a joystick for direction and a couple of buttons for speed adjustments. When you move the robot manually, you can see it respond almost instantly, which is satisfying if you enjoy a bit of hands-on interaction. However, if you're looking for a truly set-it-and-forget-it experience, you'll probably spend most of your time letting the robot's ultrasonic navigation do the heavy lifting. The smart navigation claims up to 99% coverage, and in real-world use it does a solid job of mapping both the floor and walls, including the waterline where debris tends to accumulate. The dual brush system, with one brush dedicated to the floor and another to the walls, actually reaches that elusive waterline area without you having to nudge the robot around. Now, who will benefit most from this setup? If you have an Inground pool with a mix of flat bottom and a few steps or a ladder, the 5-motor 4-wheel drive system gives the robot enough torque to climb over small obstacles and handle the incline of pool stairs. The suction rating is 500 GPH, which is strong enough to pull in sand, hair, and medium-sized leaves without choking. Homeowners who struggle with manual vacuuming or who have kids that constantly bring in debris will find the robot's ability to clear both the floor and the walls a real time saver. The remote control is also a bonus for those who like to keep an eye on the cleaning progress and intervene when the robot seems stuck. On the other side of the coin, there are situations where this unit might feel like overkill. If you own a small above-ground pool that's already equipped with a simple suction hose, the extra cost of a cordless robot with remote control may not be justified. Likewise, if you're on a tight budget and you only need a basic cleaner to run once a week, a plug-in robotic model with a longer continuous runtime could be more economical. The iQuavia's battery, while respectable, still limits you to about 3 hours of cleaning before a recharge, so high-usage scenarios like cleaning a large commercial-size pool or running the robot multiple times a day will expose that limitation quickly. Let's talk about a few practical strengths that show up once you've lived with the robot for a couple of weeks. First, the